I almost feel like we're out in Colorado with the shaker shingles, the stonework. It just really gives it a whole different feel.
This is like the creme de la creme of Vienna.
It's in the northeast quadrant of Vienna. It is a very short distance to all the restaurants and stores and historic center. We're also very close to Tyson's Corner, Wolf Trap. All of those things added together make it a very desirable neighborhood.
What's calling me is this huge door.
It's like a bank vault. Wait till you open it.
Well, I'm
it's
gonna
really
let
heavy.
John open it.
I'm going to use my muscles.
All right, go ahead.
We're going to go take a
I'll
look.
chat with you guys when you're done.
Okay.
That's some door, Tina.
It is, but when we walked up, I felt like we were looking at a house in a magazine. Inside, this is the inside of a magazine.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many details to talk about, but let's start here with the foyer.
Okay, well, what I'm seeing is some classic features.
Yes.
And then when you look up, you've got modern fixtures like this light.
And it works.
It does.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's start to the left.
All right.
Den.
No, this is a perfect study.
And nice shelves as well. A plus.
Okay.
And the dining room.
Here's your round table in a square room.
You know I love it.
I know you do.
Yeah.
You know what is popping to me in this room? Look up and you've got a tray ceiling. They've painted the inside kind of a bluish gray. It just gives this room just a little extra drama.
Handsome.
Very.
Yeah.
Let's continue on.
All right.
Look at the height of this doorway.
It's a big door.
It is. This is a big half bath. And I think it's super cool. They did like a glam vanity.
It's very glamorous.
It is, but it all ties in.
I love the color of the banister and the stairs.
Well, I like the ironwork, the black ironwork, because the style of the floor is more rustic, but it's that taupe that gives it that modern feel.
So it's modern rustic.
Modern rustic.
There you go.
That's a good way to put
and
it.
And that carries right into...
Look at this screened-in porch.
So we were going to talk about the living room, but we have to talk
in
about
fact,
this first.
even calling it a screened-in patio just doesn't even seem to do it justice.
No, not with those hanging couches. So beautifully built. I could look at that all day.
Right.
But this room.
So far, the design has been so cohesive.
Yes.
You've got coffered ceilings.
Yeah.
And they did the gray bluish tone like we were talking about with a modern light fixture.
This is like classic bungalow wall to me with the fireplace in the middle.
And just the overall design of the window. It's that square window.
But it's like bungalow on steroids. It's blown up, right?
Oh.
But it's modern bungalow. It's mungalow.
Oh, you know what? I have a butler's pantry here, and it has soapstone counters, and it leads right to the dining room.
We have a little breakfast area here into this beautiful kitchen.
All right, so this is a kitchen where you just sit down and you just take it all in.
I would spend all my time in this kitchen.
I know you would. But looking around, how much do you want to bet that there were cabinets that surrounded this?
I'll put money on that, I agree. Because they have plenty below.
Plenty.
And then they added that beautiful marble herringbone tile. And I'll tell you, you walk into this kitchen and it is like zen. It's so clean and modern. Custom touches like those sconces or even the light above the sink make a big impact.
I have to check out these countertops. Don't quote me, but I think this might be polished soapstone.
I think you're right. Okay, here's one of my favorite features. You have a Thermador wine fridge flanked by 2 other fridges. Look at that.
I didn't even notice that there wasn't a fridge in here.
Well, I think that's why we love this kitchen so much, because it's minimalist.
I'm gonna give a shout out to the farm sink.
We love a good farm sink. Let's keep exploring.
All right.
Let's
go
head
downstairs.
Yep.
Okay, here we have the lower level.
Nice.
Oh,
It's like a moth to a flame, yeah.
But look at this pattern and the design. I don't think I've seen anything like this.
What an impact and what a focal point for this great lower level sitting room. And then, beautiful big bar. I have not seen this before.
Okay. You know what I feel like I've walked into? A private club. Because you have this gorgeous island, but look at the size of it.
Yeah, and then to top it off, you have another little sitting area over here.
That would be a pool table.
A pool table, that's a great
You have
idea.
to have a pool table in a space like
And
this.
your house pool table.
Definitely. Okay.
Okay, here we have wine cellar. Oh, little playroom.
I mean, this is a really nice size room.
Yeah, and when it's a mess, you just shut the door. You're like,
Nice.
Yeah. All right, and full bath. This house has a very clean aesthetic to it, you know, and it's just right. All right, and a very nice office.
Right.
And look, so there's a door to the bathroom, so this could be an ensuite for somebody.
It could.
Pretty nice. Let's head up and see the top level.
Okay.
Okay, Tina, top floor, onto this beautiful landing.
It is a beautiful landing.
These windows, you can't miss them, right?
All right, so it looks like 2 bedrooms.
I'll take this one.
I'll take this one.
What do you have?
I've got a kid's room, and I think they fit in a queen-size bed. That's how big it is. Let me check out. Oh, I have a full bath.
Wow, that's nice.
I know.
I think I have the exact same room. Nice sized bedroom with its own closet and its own bathroom. So everything has en suites. So far, let's check out across the hall.
All right, another bedroom.
Yeah, nice. And another full bath. All right.
Okay.
Down the hall we go. And here we have the primary.
Oh. You know what's grabbing me in this room is this accent wall.
Yeah.
And the second thing that's really grabbing me is this dark gray.
Yes.
Because, you know, that can make a room feel really enclosed, but not in this space.
Yeah, it actually makes it feel cozier, I think. You know, and it's very trendy.
Let's give a nod to this set of windows.
Yeah.
It takes me back to that craftsman style.
Absolutely. All right. This bedroom has its own wing. What do we have here?
Oh, they're using this room as an exercise room, which I think is a great idea.
And I have a big walk-in closet.
Well, that's always a good use of space.
And then,
Oh, I did not know there were so many different styles of soaking tubs.
that's a new one for us.
This is a new one. But I mean, look at the marble tile everywhere. What a showstopper.
Yep, water closet, nice shower. Well, it's a big shower.
Right, and a basket weave tile in there.
A lot of classic features in this house.
But you know what's fun is the mirrored cabinets.
Yeah.
It just gives it this glam look.
A little bling
A
bling.
little bling bling.
A little
to go with
glamour.
the bling bling
Yeah, there
above
you
the
go.
tub.
Well, sadly, this is the last room in the house, I believe. Let's go check out those swings.
Oh, great idea.
All right.
Where do we start about how much we love this house?
I mean, the minute you walk in, there's just something that grabs your eye. Whether it's an architectural detail or a design element.
All the finishes are incredible, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah,
Walking into that kitchen, it just really feels very zen.
I agree.
Yeah.
And what about this space?
I absolutely am in love with this outdoor space.
Pretty spectacular.
And I like the fact that that primary bedroom has its own wing. It's quite a home.
It is quite a home.
Yeah, this house is pretty special. All right, so you guys ready to play the game?
I think so.
Yep.
So it's got 5 bedrooms, 5 full baths, 3 half baths, almost 6,500 square feet finished. It was built in 2020 on a 0.4-acre lot. So are you ready to make your guesses?
I think I'm gonna be a little more conservative this time and come in at a listing price of $2.3 million.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go higher. I'm just gonna go for 2.5.
So the actual list price of this house is $2.899 million.
All right.
John gets it.
I finally won one.
You won one, yeah. A little under.
You know, I was so afraid of going over, because that's all I've done this whole day.
I can sense you want to go higher on this one.
I did.
Yeah.